learning more about the deadly crash that prompted one man to sue the city of Chattanooga. Good evening. I'm Latricia Thomas.
And I'm Josh Rowe. Octavio Paz is suing the city over the crash that killed his wife and son in November of last year. The crash happened on Fraser Avenue, and it prompted the city to work on the redesigning of that street.
After a months-long process of planning safety improvements, work started on improving the road back in October. But in the lawsuit, attorneys claim that the city should have started working to make the road safer before his family was ever impacted.
Last year, Randy Vega was indicted on 2 counts of vehicular homicide for his role in the deadly crash, but the lawsuit also names another person who it says was involved.
News Channel 9's Ray Collado has more on this other driver and why prosecutors now say they will not charge him. Ray.
Latricia, Josh, the other driver in question, Dr. Patrick McGreedy. However, according to the district's attorney's office, Randy Vega is the only person who will be facing charges.
When I was speaking to the defendant, I noticed a few different signs of what I would call signs of impairment.
While driver Randy Vega is at the center of this deadly accident investigation that led to big changes on Fraser Avenue, court testimony and a new lawsuit show he wasn't the only driver involved. In this video played in Vega's preliminary court hearing, you can see Vega's minivan clip the front of the black truck. The truck then pushed the van across the intersection where the victims were standing on the street corner.
Felt the entire building shake. The whole front facade of the building was laying into the sidewalk and into the street.
Court documents show that Dr. Patrick McGinty was behind the wheel of that black truck.
When you have a collision or an accident with a vehicle, you stop. You don't push that car at 50 miles an hour into the next intersection, perform a pit maneuver, and spin out of control. And that's what we saw.
A police report says, quote, both vehicles were traveling at unsafe speed for the congested area. But when we asked if Dr. McGinty was ever charged in the case, prosecutor Brian Finlay told us, after a review of all the evidence, there is not enough evidence to support a conviction. While the newly filed lawsuit doesn't mention McGinty as a defendant, it does say 2 drivers contributed to Octavio Paz's significant injuries and the death of his wife and young son. The arrest affidavit does say that Dr. McGinty told officers on the scene that prior to the crash, Vega had been driving recklessly. Now, we tried to get in touch with Dr. McGinty, but were unable to get a comment. Vega is due back in court in 2 weeks. Latricia?
Ray, thank you. The lawsuit says Octavio Paz spent 2 months in the hospital as a result of the crash and is still unable to walk or work. It says his medical bills add up to $1.5 million.